Over the past few months, the government of South Sudan has introduced a controversial disarmament order that has stirred heated debate and sparked concern across the country. The directive, which was issued early this year, specifically targeted Warrap State and part of Unity State, particularly Mayom County. Authorities in Warrap State have since declared that they will include selected group of army young men in the ongoing disarmament program. This plan was announced after President Salva Kiir declared a state of emergency in June. The program aimed to remove illegal firearms from civilians and restore peace in some of the country's most volatile communities. This is according to Warrap State Minister of Information, Mamer, but the initiative will recruit around 100 army youths from each local community. These young men, many of them already familiar with the use of weapons, they will be trained and organized into a community security team. Mamer explained that the government strategy is to turn former fighters into protectors. He said that instead of sending national soldiers directly into village, the state is now empowering local youth to be the one who take part in seizing illegal guns, maintaining order, and arresting wrongdoers. He emphasized that these young recruits will not only receive training but will also be provided with uniform and firearm before being observed into formal security institution later. They said, we are taking people who are already armed, young men with strength, while those who have been part of the fighting, but now we are choosing carefully, selecting the right one, those who can save their communities. We will make them responsible for collecting weapons and for catching criminals. This is part of the wider plan to enforce the state of emergency, Minister Mamer said. He further noted that this program is not an entirely new idea, but part of the broader emergency strategy that the government has been trying to implement since the president's decree. Mamer stressed that the state has shifted its approach to avoid direct confrontation with armed civilians, which in the past has often led to violence and loss of life. So far, reports suggest that about 3,000 firearms have been handed over or confiscated in Warrap State and in Mayom. However, the government has not independently verified these numbers. According to Mamer, in Tony South County alone, about 700 weapons were reportedly collected, while in other part of Warrap and Unity State, 1,000 more were submitted. But he admits that the state authorities themselves did not personally witness all this handover, which has raised questions about the reliability of the figures. Well, while the Warrap government described this move as a step toward peace, many South Sudanese, especially members of the Nuer community, see it in a very different light. Opposition group, particularly the Sudan People Liberation Army in opposition, SPLA-IO, argue that the selective nature of the disarmament program is a violation of the 2018 peace agreement signed between President Salva Kiir and the opposition leader Dr. Riek Machar. The SPLA-IO has criticized the government decision to focus only on Warrap and Mayom, leaving others areas untouched. They argue that if the government is truly serious about nationwide peace, then the disarmament must cover the entire country without favor or bias. According to the opposition, one of the most troubled regions that desperately need disarmament is a Greater Pibor administrative area. This area has become infamous for frequent child abduction and violent cattle raids that affect communities across Jonglei and Upper Nile. Yet, the government has not launched a major disarmament initiative there, leaving many people questioning whether Warrap and Unity are being singled out for political reasons rather than for genuine security concerns. Opposition leaders argue that fairness and transparency should be the backbone of any disarmament process. They insist before any serious attempt at collecting guns can succeed, the government must first release Dr. Riek Machar, who has been under house arrest for several months. His detention, they said, is itself a sign of political mistrust and undermine the very peace deal that was supposed to unite the country. Critics warn that the current partial disarmament program risks creating more division in a state of healing the nation. Many fear that targeting specific regions simply because they are perceived as sympathetic to the opposition will only breed resentment, chaos, and possibly another cycle of violence. Well, as one elder put it in a local meeting, peace is not possible if some people are asked to surrender their gun while others keep their. How can community trust the government if the rules are applied only to a few? This is not peace building. This is choosing side. This frustration highlights a large problem South Sudan has faced since its independence. The deep mistrust between communities and between the government and the opposition viewpoint have become symbol of both survival and resistance, and any effort to remove them without fairness and inclusivity risks reopening all wounded. What happens next remains uncertain. On one hand, the Warrap government believes that integrating army use into security force will provide jobs, reduce violence, and create community trust. On the other hand, critics believe that arming and uniforming these same use could further militarize communities and worsen conflict if the process is not handled carefully. The question that lingers is whether this disarmament initiative will truly build lasting peace or whether it will add fuel to an already fragile situation. Many South Sudanese are watching closely, waiting to see if the government will expand the program to other regions, involve all communities equally, and most importantly, honor the promise of the 2018 peace deal. Until then, the disarmament in Warrap Mayom will remain one of the most debated political and security issues in South Sudan, seen by some as a step toward peace and by others as a dangerous path that could lead to renewed instability in South Sudan. Well, calls are growing louder for the government of South Sudan to release opposition leader Dr. Riek Machar, who has been under house arrest for a month. Civil society, activists, choice leaders, and members of the international community believe his freedom could make a turning point in the country's fragile peace process. Well, Dr. Riek Machar, the first vice president and longtime rival of President Salva Kiir Mayardit, was confined in late March following a renewed clash between government troops and community militias in Upper Nile. His detention has been described by many as a major setback to the implementation of the 2018 revitalized peace agreement. Activists argue that keeping Dr. Riek Machar under restriction not only undermines the peace process, but also it undermines the trust, and it could also fuel suspicion between the government and the opposition. You cannot silence one of the key signatories of the peace deal and expect stability, say one Juba-based activist. His release will show good faith and restore dialogue. The international community has echoed this concern, Regional bodies, including IGAD and the African Union, have urged Juba to allow Machar to resume his political duties, warning that his continued detention risks derailing reconciliation effort. Western partners such as the United States and the European Union have also emphasized that peace cannot be sustained without inclusivity and respect for political freedom. Well, analysts say Machar's presence in government is critical because of his influence among the Nuer community and his role in maintaining the loyalty of SPLA-IO force. Without him, mistrust deepen, defection increase, and violence become more likely. Religious leaders have also joined the call. Churches, which play a key role in peace building across South Sudan, stress that forgiveness and dialogue are impossible if political rivals are sidelined. We need both leader Kiir and Machar working together, not one against the other, say a church elder in Juba. Observers warn that selective disarmament, such as the current program in Warrap state and Mayom, combined with Machar detention, could ignite further instability in the country. Many see this as a part of or a test for President Kiir government, whether it will choose reconciliation through inclusion or deepen division through unilateral decision. For now, the hope remains that releasing Dr. Machar will send a strong message that South Sudan leaders are serious about peace, unity, and healing after years of war. Well, if you are new to this channel, I would like you to help me by subscribing and do not forget to hit the notification bell. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.